This amendment will just state for the record our intent as a legislature that Minnesotans should not be required to buy individual health care coverage and should not have penalties for their failure to do that. I think that we can make this case today that Minnesotans, if we do this through the federal government and we don't take this action today, then I think that we have broken faith with Minnesotans who don't trust the federal health care bill. And I think on their behalf, we should act as a legislature to say we will not allow the federal government to impose these requirements, and we will not allow the federal government to impose penalties and assessments on Minnesotans if they fail to have health care coverage for even 1 month. That is what's proposed by the federal government, Mr. Chair and members. They've also proposed IRS auditing, monitoring, and assessments. People don't trust the federal government right now, and we can step in and say, we agree, we'll look after your interests. Mr. Chair and members, I would ask for a roll call vote.
I think this is a very premature amendment. It's not an amendment that I would like to have in my bill, so I would oppose the amendment.
There's nothing premature about this amendment. You might disagree with it, and you might think that the federal health care bill is a good bill. I disagree with that. I think Minnesotans disagree with that. And there is trepidation among us about what's going to happen. And I think the state of Minnesota can provide the comfort that Minnesotans need to say, wait a minute, we're not going to change the whole world to impose this federal health care bill. And we're not going to have IRS agents looking at our commercial transactions and imposing penalties when they assess our taxes. This is what Minnesotans are concerned about. We can allay all those fears tonight by taking a positive vote on their behalf. They are looking to us now for the leadership that matches their values, because it's not happening in Washington. We have the opportunity to provide that leadership that they so long for.
So again, I would oppose the amendment.
This amendment will make so much sense to members outside this body. We might be the policy insiders, but among regular residents of the state of Minnesota, they're concerned about what is happening at the federal government, and they don't want us to further the plan that's being imposed upon them by the federal government. And what this says is we will not act the same way. We will not impose penalties as a state against them. Maybe the federal government will. That is what they're saying they're going to do. We need to say tonight, we're not going to impose any penalties. They might, but we won't. We can give them those reassurances. And then they can deal with the political issues at the national level, feeling certain that their legislators in the state of Minnesota have done the right thing and acted in their best interest.
Have all senators voted who desire to vote? The Secretary will close the roll. There being 17 ayes and 42 nays, the motion does not prevail. The amendment is not adopted.